morning, everyone. In October 23rd, two major international financial institutions, Standard Chartered via its innovation, fintech, and venture arm SC Venture in Singapore, and Deutsche Bank in Germany, have completed the first universal digital payment network proof of concept, executing a real-time on-chain transfer and swap test transaction between USDC and EURF stablecoin on the UDPN infrastructure. So I have with me today Steffen Schacher, UDPN Lead from GFT Tech Singapore. Hello, Steffen.
Hello, how are you doing? Great to be with you.
I'm fine. Thank you for your time. I know that time is a little bit squeezed for you. So an interesting announcement. And a lot of parties are kind of involved. So this is the first use case that you apply on UDPN. So can you highlight a little bit the role of each party in this operation?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we started to build UDPN around 2 years ago. And for us, we see UDPN as an infrastructure for digital payment currency systems. So basically, in the beginning, we would like to start with digital currencies such as stable coins. And in the future, there will be a lot of like CBDCs on our network transacting. So having an infrastructure makes it somehow a little bit complicated for people to understand on how they could use it and leverage it. So obviously, UDPN has the possibility to cater for a lot of use cases which are in the digital currency and digital asset space. So at the moment, we do have a portfolio of 12 different use cases that we are supporting. And the first one, or swap and transfer of digital currencies, we have successfully completed with Deutsche Bank from Germany and with Standard Chartered Ventures, which is the venture and innovation arm for Standard Chartered in Asia. And for this POC, it was engagement for 9 weeks. We basically evaluated how would it look like if you use UDPN as an infrastructure to transfer USDC and EURC from Germany to Asia and vice versa. And how we have done it, Deutsche Bank was doing this with a graphical user interface, and Standard Chartered.
Again, I didn't get you. You did it. How did you do it? With graphic?
Yeah, so the infrastructure was leveraged from Deutsche Bank via a graphical user interface. So basically, they used an application via a web browser to initiate transfers and swaps. On the other side, Standard Chartered Ventures in Singapore, they used APIs to initiate. So with APIs, it's a more like bank-grade environment. So it could be connected to core banking services behind. So we basically facilitated both sides with a more realistic environment, basically in the financial institution space.
Fair enough. So the choice of using USDC, is it some? It has any characteristics USDC that allows you to use USDC as a mean of transfer, or it could be any stablecoin?
So for us, universal digital payment system, it's really truly a universal network. So for us, USDC is just one of the digital currencies that we are able to run on it. So for us, UDPN will be connected in the future to many different blockchain technologies. That could be solutions from Hedera, that could be solutions from other stablecoin provider, but also CBDCs. And we do not differentiate between like closed system and open system. It could be on a private chain, it could be on a public chain. So really to cater all kinds of different solution and technologies, and also approaches what different countries will do. Because if you look at how CBDCs are currently adopted in the global world, there's many different projects, a lot of research. Some of the countries actually have already launched it. So our aim is really to connect all of these technologies, and as well as with different stablecoins that will be upcoming in the future. That's what UDPN is all about.
Somehow it feels like the decision, looking into the partners and from both parties, you and Red Technology. So it feels like you are mostly working with permissible blockchain, not yet an open network, right?
No, we do. So if you break down UDPN, what UDPN actually is, on the core of UDPN, we are running at the moment on Hyperledger Bezo. So this is the blockchain technology on UDPN. But we do have on the left-hand side of UDPN basically connected what we call business nodes. Business nodes enables financial institutions, any kind of businesses. So this could be, for example, telcos, this could be e-commerce companies, this could be payment providers, whoever wants to initiate payments to be connected to UDPN. So this is essentially an API gateway which connects your current IT infrastructure towards UDPN. So from current infrastructure to a blockchain. This blockchain runs on Hyperledger Bezo, which is UDPN. On the other side of UDPN, we connect different currency systems, what we call as a transaction node. So this transaction node can function as a bridge between UDPN and different currency systems. And again, these different currency systems are able to run on different kind of technologies. That could be CBDCs, that could be regulated stablecoins, that could be other forms of digital currencies in the future. And on this side, we are not differentiating between private blockchain, permissioned blockchain, open. It could be even solutions they are off-chain. So today we are also working together, for example, with GFT Tech Singapore, which is a German company who has a CBDC which is not on blockchain technology, and we are able to connect them to UDPN. So it's a truly universal network and a truly universal setup for this as well.
So universal up to a stage where you can say that you are a Swift killer network?
Well, I mean, you know, Swift is looking today on fiat currency, right? Swift is around for many years, right? So what we provide
for ages, and they have been really in their comfort zone. So I'm glad that you're here.
Exactly. So we are very young in the very early stages, right? So we do provide an infrastructure which is looking at digital currencies for the messaging infrastructure. We also know there will be a lot of like applications built on top of our network, which is possible with UDPN. And yeah, so this is the reason why we are in this proof of concepts, why we are evaluating and also comparing our solutions with other providers who are out there. And yeah, this is what we do. If we really would be a Swift killer, this is, I think, quite far-fetched to say, and we would not from our language use these terms basically, right? For us, it's an environment where you see a lot of different providers emerging. There's also a lot of different approaches in the nature of who UDPN wants to be. So we truly want to be a decentralized organization that's very different from the setup that Swift currently is aiming on. And yeah, there's a lot of like initiatives out there, and we are among one of them. And yeah, running proof of concepts to learn more on the network, but also to connect more financial institutions to it, and also have like a broader geographical spread. So we really aim to be not a network which is predominantly done out of like one area, be it like Asia, Europe, and America. So really have among these 24 alliance members, different financial institutions and different technology provider in our environment.
So talking about the network, and so what about the fee structure? Who's carrying the fees whenever you're talking about using blockchain as a mean of transfer or as a ledger? So and how these fees are made, or who's the party that is signing for the fees?
Very good question. So on the permission blockchain, which is UDPN running, there will be up to 24 validator nodes. Each validator node will be operated by one alliance member. So this alliance member, the two founding members is GFT and Red Date, and we are looking for 24 more alliance members. So all transactions will be basically happen on UDPN. The fees will be split according to the number of alliance members live. So if there's 24 alliance members, the revenues generated through transactions will be split across the 24 alliance members.
Any similarity with Hedera here?
I'm not 100% sure how the Hedera Foundation is organized. So it's like for us, we will have 24 different alliance members and split according to them. I would need a little bit more time on evaluating how Hedera is doing this at the moment. Yeah.
So, and now your position as mainly as a solution for cross-border payment, and obviously CBDC should be, or it could be your main structure. It could be the main client as between countries, CBDC in general. So do you see yourself having your own utility coin or a stable coin where all the transfer and exchanges happen on your coin, and then the transactions happening on?
Yeah, no, this is not the approach that we are taking. So again, we want to be a universal payment system. We do not envision or plan to have our own stable coin to settle for all of this. There are other providers out there who are taking this approach. That's not what we intend to do it. So for us, it's really the means of like connecting as many as different countries, as many as different currencies, and as many as different stable coins that will be certainly coming out in the future together, and have them settled via the instruments of like FX translation or currency pools and liquidity pools, basically.
Mm-hmm. So do you think such a network is also capable to help capital markets or no?
Absolutely. I think the way on how capital markets today operate based on fiat money, there will be a huge disruption in terms of like what will come along with digital currencies. So for us, that was also one of the motivation to really create UDPN, to have an infrastructure of the future who is able to facilitate a high scalability of businesses onboarding to the one side, and also a high scalability of different currencies onboarding to the other side.
So maybe a little bit, my last question, a little bit might be political. So such an operation coming from Asia. So how do you envision the acceptance from the westward, mainly the US companies, and at the end of the day, also I would like to say, where do you envision this network after?
Absolutely. It's a very good question, and this was one of the feedback that we gotten very early in our endeavor, where a lot of financial institutions that we talk to say, hey, it needs to be a truly global network, right? So the reason why we are starting this in Asia is there's a lot of like regulated environment which is very supportive on that, especially Hong Kong and Singapore environment, right? But we aim to be a really global network. So today we completed, a couple of days ago, obviously, we completed the first POC between a German bank and a bank from Asia, but we are already running around 10 proof of concepts in parallel. And for this, we already have banks from USA, we have banks from Europe, we have banks from Latin America, we have banks from Australia participating into that, right? So we really want to have like a global governance model on this, that is really a solution that is adopted on a global level, and not just like one or two countries from a geopolitical perspective owning and controlling that. That is not what UDPN is, and this is not what we want to be.
So, my last question here, what are the plans for a country like UAE, where blockchain technology is really flourishing, the adoption is going skyrocketing, and the regulatory scene is becoming more and more clear, and one of the most advanced regulatory environment. So how do you see UDPN in the Middle East, mainly in the UAE?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're actually looking very much forward to get our first commercial client onboarded onto UDPN from the Middle East, and also from
a discussion. You mean there is a discussion?
Exactly. We have with one of the central banks a discussion ongoing from the Middle East. I'm not allowed to disclose who it is at the moment. And we are also talking to a couple of financial institutions, so commercial banks basically from the region, to onboard to our POC use cases. It's relatively easy to come to our POC use cases. Usually we work together with people either from the treasury side, from cash payments, or even from the innovation side or head of digital assets. So whoever is interested in the region that you're operating, we are more than happy to welcome them on our network and test this proof of concepts together.
So Steffen, thank you for your time. It was a good interview. We highlighted at least what I wanted to understand from what you're doing.
Absolutely. No, I thank you for the time as well, and very good questions. Absolutely.
Thank you.